to do was make two-minute songs that were short and sweet to the point, and not show off, and just have a great song. I mean, just do a song.
Right.
All that rock histrionic, look at me play, how great I am, was done already. It was done like in the late '60s even by people like Cream and Jimi Hendrix, who no one can top. So, this is what we were up against, and luckily we had CBGBs to play at, and then it exploded all over the world.
Exactly. Now, I'll open it up in a second, but I want to ask you about what you're doing now. I saw you last with Marky Ramone's Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
And at the time you had Andrew W.K. singing for you.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about that project. I mean, what's the goal there, and how did it work with Andrew?
Well, we toured the world, and we got tight, and that was important because I wanted it to be really good. And I like Andrew's philosophies when it comes to a lot of things. He's very positive, and he knows how to entertain. And I didn't want a Joey Ramone clone.
Right.
And he does it his way, and he knows how to engage the audience, which I like. We had a rehearsal, and he worked out fine. It's a different era now. Me, Johnny, and Joey sat in a hotel room. I think it was a Holiday Inn in '94, and we decided to continue for another 2 years and stop. So that was '96.
Yeah.
There's a whole new generation now. That come to the shows who are young kids, which I'm very grateful for, obviously. But the songs are too good not to be played.
Well, that's it, exactly. And I mean, if anybody has a claim to the legitimacy of playing them, it would be you.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Now, I love playing the songs, and I'll make this short. I did 2 original albums, original songs, with a band I had about 15 years ago. I would tour with the group, but then kids and whoever in the audience wanted to hear Ramone songs, so I got the message. They don't want to hear originals, they want to hear Ramone songs. So that's what I will do until my body says I can't do it anymore. So far I'm in good health, and I will continue. And basically I got a food company now that I make my own pasta sauce. I got my own beer line. I got my own hot sauce line. But the reason why I want to dwell into this is because in each product I can give to charity. So I give some proceeds from the sauce to Autism Speaks. I give another charity to the veterans, without limbs. And the hot sauce, the hot sauce goes to Musicians Without Borders. That helps kids in school, where say if the budget of the school can't cover the cost of, say, a snare drum or a drum lesson or this, there is a charity that's able to help.
You're kind of like the Paul Newman of punk.
I'd love to be. I mean, if you're in a position like that, it's good to give back.
It's good.
It's very important.
Let's go out to the audience, see if people got things. Go ahead.
Hi.
I just want to ask, when the Ramones came out, it was a different time. CBGB's, New York City was a different time. They got to the point where CBGB's couldn't even pay the rent. I mean, so how would a band come out of Manhattan now, or even come out of New York right now?
Well, the thing is that the owner of the building just kept raising the rent, and every chance he got. And Hilly got sick of it, and he had cancer too. So he just decided to say, "The heck with it, I'm not going to deal with this anymore." So they closed CBGB's. Now it's a high-end fashion store, which we were deadly opposed to when we started CBGB's, because who's going to buy jeans for $400 or $500? You know what I mean? That whole gentrification thing, But we thought that it was the wrong spot for that store. you know, the people that still
I mean,
exist.
should it be a monument now? I mean,
Well, the thing is, you have to go through the city to do that. They didn't do it. It had a good run. It was more than 30 years, so it's pretty good for a club, you know. But now, you know, a whole new generation has to start their own scene in New York, like a club like CBGB's. There's a lot of good stuff going on in Brooklyn. So just bands have to communicate. They have to find places to get together, exchange ideas, hang out, become friends, a mutual camaraderie. So hopefully that'll happen sooner or later, you know, again, in maybe a different area, not necessarily the Bowery. So that's all I can say.
Marky, when did the original CV, you know, from your experience, when did the good times sort of start to fade away there for you?
I'd say 82, 83.
Why do you think?
Because besides the Ramones, Blondie, Talking Heads, and Patti Smith, Television, all these groups were getting too big to play there. So a lot of bands would play there because of the reputation of the bands I just mentioned playing there. So after a while, it got a little diluted and watered down. And to me, it didn't have the spark like it had from, say, 74 to 82, around there. I mean, you know, hardcore was coming, and so they had the hardcore Sundays.
Right.
But then, besides that, there was really nothing that interesting to me anymore, you know?
Well, and I think, too, that this sort of confluence of all these different bands put under the rubric of punk, I mean, as different as the Talking Heads were from you, as was Blondie from you, and, I mean, in the Cramps. I mean, these are all very different bands that just kind of fell under this umbrella.
Yeah, we didn't, I mean, again, we were all friends. So, we all knew we were different, so there was really no competition. So that was a good thing. But, you know, you can't just stay in a club, you have to move on. I mean, the last time we played there was a line around the block, and then we knew that we had to expand. We had to have a place that had more capacity.
I think the last place I saw you was Lollapalooza, 96.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was,
it's nice to play big places like that. It's good to play, you know, the stadiums, but you always should, if you're in a band, go back to doing clubs. Because it's 3 different mindsets: club, venue, stadium, and all that stuff. Because you learn from all 3 different experiences.
So, out in the audience, do we have some more? Yes.
Hi.
Joan Jett was like heavily influenced by the Ramones.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever worked with her or thought
Oh, yeah.
of working with her now?
Yeah. I did a song with her called Don't Blame Me. We did it together. And I just did a song with Sherry Curry from the Runaways.
Just recently?
No, a couple of
Okay,
years ago.
okay.
It just was reissued. So I think it was Cherry Bomb. He redid it, and you know, I always liked her singing, and I always liked Joan singing. So I wrote the song, and she sang on it with my lead singer, like an answer, you know, back and forth kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, there's so many influences that you hear in other bands that Ramones provided, you know. And if they were alive today, to see the popularity now, they'd be very grateful, you know.
Marky, did the Ramones make money? I mean, at the end, I mean, did it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean, did they?
I always find it ostentatious to talk about money, but we did well. We had a really good accountant who didn't rip us off. We had a very good lawyer. We had a good manager. We always paid our taxes, and yeah, we did good. And I'm proud to say that because of the hard work we did. We did 2,200 shows, and I did 1,500 of them, 1,700, I'm sorry, and 9 studio albums. So it was a lot of work, and we traveled in a van, not a tour bus. We didn't have to pay a tour bus company $5,000 a week and the driver $2,000 a week. We put that away. You know.
Was Monty your driver?
Yeah, Monty Melnick
Monty,
was our road manager. And we just rented a van. We weren't into that rock star stuff, you know, and you know, we would never standoffish to people. We always signed autographs, took photos. We never believed in that, you know, we're too good for you, you know, attitude that a lot of these rock stars have. Why, I don't know, but they do, and they just forget where they came from. You know, I guess, I don't know.
It's funny. I was talking to the Dam's Captain Sensible about that, and he was saying sort of the same thing you were saying. He said, well, you know, look, I do a job and I do it well, but it's like I don't expect the plumber who does a good job. You know, he doesn't expect a whole bunch of applause at the end of it. He's just doing a good job. That's all I do. I'm like a plumber. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a little not quite right there because yes, he's going to get applause, but you know, his point was he's a worker. You know, he's a party.
Well, you know, it's an occupation.
It's an occupation.
I never considered what I did or do work. This is a dream that I wanted to do when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My parents dragged me into the living room. The Beatles were on the Ed Sullivan show, and I wanted to be Ringo. So the next thing you know, I started playing the drums.
Did they buy you a drum kit?
No, I had to work for that. I worked for a drugstore, and I delivered prescription drugs to people, and I would save the money and build a set, you know. So we're talking like, you know, 14, 15 years old, after school, 3 o'clock, go to work, ride a bike for 2-3 hours, and that's what I did. And then when I got a little more serious, and my father saw that, they took me to a music store and bought me a cheap Japanese drum set. And it was called Zimgar. So I took the name off and I put black electrical tape over the drum head and put the Beatles on there. And I wrote away for a Ludwig sticker.
And you put it on? Did you?
I put it on there, but then eventually I got the Ludwig sets and the DW sets and the, you know, Pearl sets and the Thomas, and they give them to me. So you know, you can only have so many sets. Where the hell are you going to put them? You know what I mean? So that's how I started with that. You know.
That's good. Let's take a couple more from out there. If anybody's, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, your memoir's coming out in 1 month.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's gonna scar us for life about the Ramones?
Is anything what?
Anything that's gonna scar us for life about the Ramones?
I hope so.
Anything for scars?
That's gonna scar us for life.
Horrifying.
Scar us for life with what you reveal.
Oh yeah, we're not brothers. Everyone thought we were brothers.
Did they really? Up
Yeah.
to a point for what? Really?
And when you know, I mean, I joined at the hip. But did anybody here see Centipede? Anyway, you know, the reason why we called ourselves the Ramones because it was kind of like a gang thing, you know, the Ramones. That was from Paul McCartney, who used to check into hotel rooms when he was in a band called the Silver Beatles, and he called himself Paul Ramone, and he thought it was exotic, you know. So then he obviously stuck to his name, Paul McCartney, and he became Paul McCartney. Oh, he is Paul McCartney. Anyway, that's where we got the name from. So there's a lot of stuff in that book.
Marky, I don't know if this is an apocryphal story or real, but it's one that I heard. Somebody, I think from Monty, you were telling Monty this, that he had stopped the van at some point, and you guys all let you guys out to go do something, and
Yes.
some woman comes up and goes, Oh, that's so nice of you taking care of those poor retarded boys.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah. I mean, you know, each to his own, you know, but we were pretty close.
I don't wanna be scarred though, I mean, is there anything gonna be scarred?
You gotta get the book.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I don't even know where to begin. You know, I mean, I don't think it's the proper time or moment to talk about certain things in the book. You know.
Did you have a co-writer, Marky, or did you do it on your own?
I did it, and a guy with me who you know, obviously went to school for English, you know, whatever, English major. I mean, I have a Brooklyn accent and, you know, whatever, but you need someone to write the book who sounds like you. I had 2 different writers before I actually liked Richard. One guy came off like he was talking, like I was talking in the King's English. You know, like I'm reading Shakespeare. To them, long in the distance, came the men with the swords over the bridge. You know, it's like, you know, I don't talk that way. I'm not from England, you know. But and then there was another writer who unfortunately had a cigarette habit, and every 5 minutes, get up, leave my house, go downstairs to smoke, come back, and ruin the momentum. When you're on a roll and your memory serves you well, you got to do that. But this woman just kept going, and I'll be right back. You know, every 5 minutes. I mean, really, you know, it was uncomfortable. Then Richard and I did it over, and that's the result.
What's his last name?
Hirschlag.
Oh.
Yeah, he was great. So it sounds like me in the book, and now they want me to read the book, audio-wise, and it takes 10 days. Now, you know, I mean, they have professional people that do that, and I heard 4 different people, so I chose one, who I think will represent the book very well. I just don't have the time, you know.
Hey, I saw you guys play. Couldn't you do it in like 3 days the way you guys used to play?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
You guys
no, it's a
non-stop, go, go, go.
whole different thing. To reading and all that stuff, you gotta watch your breath. I mean, I got this long list. You gotta breathe. How am I gonna read? I gotta breathe, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Whole idea of an audio book is to make it sound like you read the whole book in one sitting.
Right.
So that's why there are people out there that can do it in 10 days. I wish 3 days.
That's good. Anything else? Oh, a couple more? Yeah, go.
I recall some years ago, and before I say that, there are so many people that don't know that the Ramones is just 1 or 2 of you, and you're not all brothers, and it just blows their mind until they finally learn it. And then some years ago, a number of you were on a talk show with Geraldo, of all people, and he didn't even know.
In those days, we would have went anywhere.
But he didn't even know.
Nobody wanted us.
And he looked so dumbfounded when he learned. He goes, "Oh, you're not all relatives? I didn't know that." And,
Right.
and one of your mothers was
Exactly.
there.
That's why I brought.
Be a prep worker, although. Come on.
I brought that up. That's
It
why.
was hysterical.
But you know
Dumbfounded.
what was even strange? Joey went on the Jay Leno show once. I think it was Jay Leno, and the karate guy was there. What's his name? Tall guy with the ponytail. Seagal. Yeah. He was supposed to get up when Joey came on, and he looks at him like he was an alien. Right away, you know, he looks at Joey like, "Who's this freak coming at me?" And he wouldn't get up. So Joey got onto the couch, and then Steven Seagal got up and went to the way end of the couch because he didn't want to sit next to Joey. And I thought that was very rude of him to do that, you know. But these are the adventures of the Ramones, of these strange situations that have happened.
I think Joey wore his long hair better than Steven did.
Well, the thing is, he was thinner. He was thinner, but you know, to act like that on a major TV show wasn't really proper, you know.
Maybe Steven was just living up to his